This is a question from computer graphics. In graphics, the number of vanishing points depends on, and four options are given. A vanishing point is a point on the image plane of a perspective drawing where the two-dimensional perspective projections of mutually parallel lines in the three-dimensional space appear to converge. So, option D, the perspective projections of any set of parallel lines that are not parallel to the projection plane is the right answer. This is a question from Java programming. The built-in base class in Java, which is used to handle all exception is raise, exception, error, throwable. Java exception classes are organized into a hierarchy. And throwable is the base class of all exceptions in Java. Exception and error are subclass of throwable. So option D, throwable, is the right choice. This is a question from data mining and warehousing. Opportunistic reasoning is addressed by which of the following knowledge representation? Script, blackboard, production rules, fuzzy logic. So, opportunistic reasoning is a method of selecting suitable logical inference strategy from the knowledge base of the AI system. Blackboard is an AI model of opportunistic reasoning where a common knowledge base is updated frequently by diverse knowledge sources. So option B, Blackboard, is the right choice. This is a question from data structures. The following steps in a linked list, p equal to get node, inf of p equal to 10, next of p equal to list, list equal to p, result in which type of operation? So p equal to get node, it is a function that allocate space equal to size of the node type structure and returns a pointer p. Now inf of p is essentially the value of the new node is equal to 10, value equal to 10. Next of p equal to list, it means that adding new node to the list. So clearly these steps mentioned are resulting in inserting a node. So option C is the right choice. This is a question from compiler design. Shift reduce parsing belongs to a class of bottom-up parsing, top-down parsing, recursive parsing, predictive parsing. Shift reduce are the class of parsers which build a parse tree in bottom-up manner and scans it from left to right. So in these parsers, through shift operation, a single character from the token stream is pushed onto the parse stack and becomes a new single node parse tree. A reduce step applies a complete grammar production rule to the recent parse tree, joining them together as one tree with a new root symbol. Some of the example includes SLR, CLR, LLR. So shift reduce parsing belongs to the class of bottom-up parsing. Option A is the right choice. This is a question related to cloud computing. Which of the following is not provided as a service in cloud computing? And four options are given. Infrastructure as a service, architecture as a service, software as a service, platform as a service. So infrastructure as a service. This service provides business access to essential web infrastructure such as server, storage space, etc. So this is provided as part of a cloud computing. Software as a service. This service offered by cloud computing is relatively mature and it uses softwares that are hosted on cloud to help the user. So this is also provided as a service in cloud computing. Platform as a service. Platform as a service are often inside infrastructure as a service clouds by specialists to deliver the scalability and distribution of any application and to make a company's expenses predictable. So these three are the services that are provided by cloud computing, and architecture of a service is not provided as a part of cloud computing service. So option B is the right choice. This is a question from digital logic. The binary equivalent of the decimal number 42.75 is, and four options are given. So 42 can be represented as follows. We have 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. These are the place values. Now we have 32 as 1. Now we need 10 more. So we put 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. So this is 42. So this is same. This can be rejected. This can also be a potential answer. This can also be rejected. Now 75. That is 0.75, not 75. 0.75 can be written as zero point 0.5 plus 0.25. So this is essentially dot 1 dot 110 here. This is 1 by 2. This will be 1 by 4. This will be 1 by 8. So 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 is equal to 0.75. So this will be the right answer. And based on the options, option A is the right choice. This is a question from digital logic. Which logic gate is used to detect overflow in 2's complement arithmetic? We have OR gate, AND gate, NAND gate, and XOR gate. In 2's complement number, we can check whether there is an overflow or not by taking the XOR of carry in XOR carry out of MSB. And if XOR is equal to 0, no overflow. XOR equal to 1, we have overflow. So based on the options, option D, XOR gate is the right choice. This is a question from graph theory. The number of edges in a n vertex complete graph is, and 4 options are given. A graph is said to be complete if it is connected to every other vertices. So if there are n vertices, then it is connected to all other n minus 1 vertices and it is an undirected graph. So there is no direction. So this will be the number of edges. N into n minus 1 by 2. So based on the options, option A is the right choice. This is a question from programming language. What is the right way to declare a copy constructor of a class if the name of the class is my class? In this question, language is not specified, so there can be multiple correct options. For example, in C++, the correct way to declare a copy constructor is my class constant my class followed by arguments. This is C++. In Java, we can declare the copy constructor as my class followed by arguments. So there can be multiple correct answers. Option B is correct with respect to C++ and option C is correct with respect to Java. So there can be multiple right answers to such question. This is a question from digital logic. When two BCD numbers 0x14 and 0x08 are added, what is the binary representation of the resultant number? So BCD numbers are binary coded decimal numbers in which each digit of a number is separately represented as a 4-bit binary number. So the first number we have is 14. So this 4 is represented as a 4-bit binary number and 1 is also represented as a 4-bit binary number. Second number is 08. This is 4-bit, this is 4-bit. Now let's perform the binary addition. So BCD of 14 in binary is 0001 0100. Similarly, for 08 is 0000 1000. Now let's perform the addition. We will get 0011 1000. This is 1 and this is the second one. Now there is a rule that in BCD addition, if digit is greater than 9, we add 6 to it. So this is greater than 9. So let's add 6 to it. So here we are simply adding zeros. and here we are adding 6. Performing the addition, we will get so this is the final result. Now let's convert it back to binary representation. We'll have this as 2, this also as 2. So 0x22, option A is the right choice. This is a question from algorithms. Which of the following sorting algorithm has the minimum running time complexity in the best and average case? And options are insertion sort, quicksort, 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 insertion sort, insertion sort, insertion sort. So the question is asked regarding minimum running time. Let's write the best and average case of insertion and quicksort. So for insertion sort, the best case running complexity is order of n if array is sorted, and the average case is order of n square. For quicksort, it will be always order of n log n as the best case, and average case is also order of n log n. So the question is asking regarding the minimum running time in the best and average case. So in the best case, the minimum running time is for insertion sort, and in the average case, it is for quicksort. So the answer is insertion sort and quicksort. Based on the options, option A is the right choice. This is a question from digital logic design. The number 1102 in base 3 is equivalent to 123 in which base system? So 1102 in base 3. Let's convert it into decimal. We will get 2 plus 0 plus 3 square plus 3 cubed, which is equal to 38. Now 123. Let's assume the base as x, and converting it into decimal, we will get 3 plus 2x plus x square. So x square plus 2x plus 3 is equal to 38. We have x square plus 2x minus 35 equal to 0. So for minus 35, the roots can be 7 minus 5. So x plus 7 into x minus 5 is equal to 0. X is equal to minus 7 or x is equal to 5. So the radix can always be positive. So x equal to 5. So option B, 5 is the right choice. This is a question from set algebra. The number of elements in the power set of A, B and C is. So for n element set, there are 2 to the power n elements in power set. So given set is equal to this set AB, comma C. So power set will have AB, C, and 5. So there are 4 elements. Option D, 4 is the right choice. This is a question from theory of computation. What are the final states of the DFA generated from the following NFA? So this is an epsilon NFA. So there is a property that the epsilon closure of the states which contain the final state in its closure is also final state. Based on this property, let's try to find out the final states generated. So epsilon closure of state Q0 is what? Epsilon closure of state Q0 is upon seeing Q0 and epsilon, what are the states that it can reach? So it can reach Q0, it can reach Q1, then it can reach Q2. So Q2 is in the final state. So Q0 will also be present in the final state. Now epsilon closure of Q1. From Q1, upon seeing epsilon, it can move to Q1 as well as Q2. So Q2 is in the final state, so Q1 will also be in the final state. Now epsilon closure of Q2 will result in Q2 as Q2 is already the final state. So based on the rule, the epsilon closure of the states which contain the final state in its closure is also final state. So Q0, Q1, Q2 will be the final states of the DFA generated from the given NFA. So based on the options, option A, Q0, Q1, Q2 is the right answer. This is a question from geometry. How many diagonals can be drawn by joining the angular points of an octagon? So if a polynomial has n vertices, then corresponding to each vertex, we can have total n minus 3 diagonals. That is, join all vertex except the two neighboring vertex. So for all vertex except the two neighboring vertex and the same vertex, we can join any other vertex. So for n vertices, we can have n minus 3 diagonals for a particular vertex. So the total number of diagonals that are possible is total diagonals is equal to, for n vertex we can have n minus 3 diagonals divided by 2. This is divided by 2 because we are counting the duplicate diagonals. So this is the total number of diagonals that are possible. Now the question is asked regarding octagon. Octagon has n equal to 8. So we can have 8 into 8 minus 3 divided by 2. So cut shorting, we will get 20. So option B, 20 is the right answer. This is a question from probability. Let P of E denote the probability of the occurrence of event E. If P of A is equal to 0.5 and P of B equal to 1, then the value of P of A given B and P of B given A respectively are. So it is given that probability of A is equal to 0.5, probability of B is equal to 1. Now from the probability of B, it is clear that there is no dependency in the event A and B. So both A and B are independent. Therefore, probability of A intersection B is equal to probability of A into probability of B. Now, the question is asking for P of A given B. It means that probability of the occurrence of event A when B has already occurred. This is equal to P of A intersection B divided by probability of B, which is equal to A intersection B in this case is 0.5 into 1 divided by 1, which is equal to 0.5. So this is 0.5. So either this is cancelled and this is also cancelled. So A or C are the possible answers. Now probability of B given A is equal to probability of B intersection A divided by probability of A. This is equal to probability of B intersection A can be calculated as probability of A into B, which is equal to 1 into 0.5 divided by 0.5. This is equal to 1. So The answer is 0.5, 1. Based on the options, option C is the right choice. This is a question from operating system. Which of the following strategy is employed for overcoming the priority inversion problem? So priority inversion is a scenario in which a high priority process is indirectly preempted by a lower priority process. So the situation is priority, high priority process wait for low priority process. This causes to invert the relative priorities of the process. This can be eliminated by temporarily raising the priority of the lower priority process so that it cannot preempt the high priority process. So option A, temporarily raise the priority of the lower priority level process is the right choice. This is a question from computer networks. What is the maximum number of characters, 7 bits plus parity, that can be transmitted in a second on a 19.2 kbps line? This asynchronous transmission requires one start and one stop bit. So in asynchronous transmission mode, start bit and stop bit are always required, whereas in synchronous mode, these bits are not required. So for asynchronous, start and stop bits are necessary. So in total, we have for the connection, the total number of bits in character includes 7 data bit plus 1 parity plus 1 start bit plus 1 stop bit. This is equal to total 10 bits. Now the bandwidth is 19.2 kbps, which is equal to 19.2 into 10 to the power of 3 bits per second, and the total number of bits for one character is 10. So in a second it can have 1920 characters per second. So option C, 1920 is the right choice. IEEE 1394 is related to, and four options are given. IEEE 1394 is related to FireWire, is an interface standard for a serial bus for high-speed communication and real-time data transfer. It provides a single plug and socket connection on which up to 63 devices can be attached with data transfer speed up to 400 Mbps data transfer. IEEE 1394 is related to FireWire. Option C, FireWire is the right choice. This is a question from network security. What will be the ciphertext produced by the following cipher function for the plain text Isro with key k equal to 7? We have to consider a equal to 0, b equal to 1, so on, z equal to 25. And the ciphertext ck of m is equal to km plus 13 mod 26. Now, the ciphertext is given as ck of m is equal to km plus 13 mod 26. We have a equal to 0, b equal to 1, c equal to 2. So I will be equal to 8 here, and so on. Now I will be encrypted as ck of I is equal to, k is given as 7 here, 7 into 8 plus 13 mod 26. This is equal to 17, which based on this convention will be equal to R. Let's see the options one by one. Initially we have R, this in this case, this can be not considered, this also not considered, this also not considered. So directly we can say that by option elimination, option A is the right answer. This is a question from digital logic. Any set of Boolean operators that is sufficient to represent all Boolean expression is said to be complete. Which of the following is not complete? So NOR and NAND are called universal gates, as any logic gate can be implemented using these two gates. So if you are able to perform the function of NOR or NAND, then we can say that the expression is said to be complete. Let's see the options one by one. Using NOT and OR, we can implement NOR. So this is functionally complete. So it is not the right answer. NOR is said to be functionally complete. So it is also not the right answer. And with NOT can be used to make NAND. So this is also not the right answer. With AND along with OR, we cannot make either NOR or NAND. So this is not complete. So the question is asking which of the following is not complete. Option C is the right answer. This is a question from DBMS. Which of the following is the highest isolation level in transaction management? Serializable, repeated read, committed read, uncommitted read. The right answer here is option A, serializable. Serializable is the highest isolation level which guarantees the transaction to be serializable. Serializable execution is defined to be an execution of operation in which concurrently executing transactions appear to be serially executing. So it is the highest isolation level in transaction management. Option A, serializable. This is a question from databases. Consider the following relational schema and the tables are suppliers, parts and catalog. What is the result of the following query? So there are two queries and we are performing one minus operation in this. So let's see the first query, that is this query. In this query, what is happening is select catalog.pid from suppliers, catalog, where suppliers.sid equal to catalog.pid. So in first query, we are joining catalog and suppliers and getting PIDs for all in which they are supplied. So joining catalog and supplier and getting PIDs for all supplied. This minus, let's see the second query. So that is select catalog from suppliers, catalog where suppliers.name not equal to Sachin and suppliers.sid equal to catalog.sid. In the second query, we are getting PIDs for all parts which are supplied by any other supplier other than Sachin. So here getting PID for all parts which are supplied other than Sachin. So we are performing, this is query 1 and this is query 2. So we are performing essentially query 1 minus query 2. So what happens here is we are subtracting all PIDs minus PID of all other than Sachin. So we are left with only Sachin. So based on the options, let's see. PID of parts supplied by all except Sachin. No, this is false. Option B, PIDs of parts supplied only by Sachin. Yes, this is true. And option B is the right choice. This is a question from database. Consider the following dependencies and the book table in a relational database. Determine the normal form of the given relation. So the dependencies are ISBN derives title, ISBN gives publisher, publisher determines address. So first of all, let's find the candidate key. The candidate key here is ISBN as using ISBN we can derive rest of the attributes, that is title, publisher and address. So ISBN is the candidate key. Now with ER modeling we get the relation in first normal form. So for second normal form we shouldn't have any partial dependency. Since the candidate key is having only one attribute, there is no partial dependency involved. So it is in 2NF. Now for 3NF we have to see that there is no transitive dependency. That is a dependency from key to a non-key. But there's a dependency of transitivity from ISBN to publisher and publisher to address. So since there is transitive dependency, there it is not a third normal form. So it is in second normal form. Option B is the right choice. This is a question from database. Calculate the order of leaf and non-leaf node of a B plus tree based on the information given below. We have search key field equal to 12 byte, record pointer is 10 byte, block pointer is 8 byte, and block size is 1 kilobyte. So for leaf node, the order will be assumed as n. Order is assumed as n. So it can be calculated as size of search key into n plus record pointer into n plus block pointer is less than or equal to block size. Substituting the values, we will get 12 into n plus 10n plus 8 less than or equal to 1024. We will get 22n is less than or equal to 1016. Solving n will be equal to 46. So now itself we can get the answer that option C is the right answer as n is equal to 46 here. But let's solve it for non-leaf node also. Now for non-leaf node, we can calculate it as size of search key into n. Here n represents the order of non-leaf node plus block pointer into n plus 1 less than or equal to 1024. Calculating 12n plus 8n less than or equal to 1024. So this is n plus 1. So we'll get 8 here. 8n plus 8 is less than or equal to 1024. Solving, we will get n is equal to 50.8, which is equal to 50. So option C is the right choice. This is a question from data structures. The physical location of a record determined by a formula that transforms a file key into a record location is, and based on the options, option A, hashed file is the right choice. In hashed file, the file keys are inserted into the record location by using a formula or the hash key, and later the location of each of these files can be retrieved using this formula. So hashed file is the right answer. This is a question for probability. If a program P calls two subprograms P1 and P2, and P1 can fail 50% of the time, P2 can fail 40% of the time, what is the failure rate of program P? So program P fails when either P1 fails or P2 fails. That is, failure of P1 plus failure of P2 is equal to failure of P. Now we can say that when both P1 and P2 fails at the same time, failure of P1 intersection failure of P2, this is already counted twice. So the final answer will be as follows. That is, failure of P1 plus failure of P2. minus failure of P1 intersection P2. This will be the final result, which is equal to 0.5 is failure of P1, 0.4 failure of P2 minus 0.5 into 0.4, which is equal to 0.9 minus 0.2, which is equal to 0.7, which is equal to 70%. So the right answer is option C, 70. This is a question from digital logic. How many programmable fuses are required in a PLA which takes 16 inputs and gives 8 outputs? It has to use 8 OR gates and 32 AND gates. So the total programmable fuses is equal to fuse used by AND gate plus fuse used by OR gate. So the fuses are attached to AND OR gate input, allows the input to reach the AND OR gate, and if fuse does not work, then no input can reach these gates of PLA. So fuse required by AND gate this is equal to 2 into number of input into number of gates, which is equal to 2 into number of inputs is equal to 16 into number of gates is equal to 32, which is equal to 1024 fuses for AND gate. Now fuse for OR gate is equal to number of output into number of gate, which is equal to number of output is equal to 8 into number of AND gates. Here it is number of AND gates, which is equal to 32, which is equal to 256. So total is equal to 256 plus 1024, which is equal to 1280. So based on the options, none of the options matches. None matches. This is a question from digital logic. In a 3-stage counter using RS flip-flop, what will be the value of the counter after 9 pulses to its input? Assume that the value of the counter before giving any pulse is 1. So in a 3-stage counter using RS flip-flop, the value of counter reset to initial stage after 8 pulses. Based on this, let's perform the calculation. Initial value is equal to 1. Now after 8 clock pulses, we have from 1 it will move to 2 in 1 clock pulse, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 0, 0 to 1. This is the result after 8 clock pulse. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now upon 9th clock pulse, it will move back to 2. So 2 is the right answer. Option B is the right choice. This is a question from computer graphics. In which of the following shading models of polygons, the interpolation of intensity values is done along the scan line? 4 options are given. The right answer is option A, Gaurat shading. In this method, Intensity levels are calculated at each vertex and interpolated across the surface, and the intensity values for each polygon are matched with the values of adjacent polygons along the common edges. This eliminates the intensity discontinuity that can occur in flat shading. So option A, Gaurat shading is the right answer. This is a question from data structures. Which of the following number of nodes can form a full binary tree? So a binary tree is said to be a full binary tree in which all the nodes except leaf have two children. So this is the basic criteria for a binary tree to be fully binary. So based on the options, we can see that with 8 nodes, we can form 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So based on the criteria of a fully binary tree, this node should have two children, but that is not the case. So this can be discarded. Now let's see 15. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So based on the definition of full binary tree, this is satisfying. So based on the options, option B is the right choice. Similarly, if we check, we can see that 14 and 13 will also not form a full binary tree. So option B is the right choice. This is a question from microprocessor. In 8086, the jump condition for the instruction JNBE is, and four options are given. So in 8086, the instruction JNBE is jump not below, neither equal. So to execute this instruction, the zero flag should be false. That is ZF equal to 0 and carry flag also false, which means CF is also equal to 0. So based on the options, option C is the right choice. This is a question from software engineering. Which of the following testing method uses fault simulation technique? So the right answer to this question is option D, mutation technique. So mutation technique uses fault simulation. In this, the fault is introduced in the program by creating a mutant program of the actual program. Now, mutant programs are actual versions of the program, and when the testing is performed on actual program and its mutant program, what happens is one of the output case will be different, which leads to the failure in mutant program, and this shows the effectiveness of the testing method. So option D, mutation testing is the right choice. This is a question from microprocessor. In 8085 microprocessor, the interrupt service routine for handling trap interrupt is at what location? Trap has highest priority in all interrupt. Trap cannot be masked, but it can be delayed using hold signal. This interrupt transfer the microprocessor's control to location 0024H. So based on the options, option D, 24H is the right answer. This is a question from digital logic. The voltage range for a logic high and logic low in RS-232C standard is, and four options are given. So in RS-232C standard, a logic high, that is 1, is represented by a negative voltage anywhere from the range -3 to -15 volt, while a logic low, that is 0, is represented between a positive voltage that can be ranging from anywhere between +3 to +15 volt. So based on the options, option C, low is 3 volt to 15 volt and high is -3 to -15 volt is the right answer. This is a question from computer networks. In the Ethernet, which field is actually added at the physical layer and is not part of the frame? Preamble, CRC, address, location. So if we look into the Ethernet frame, we can see the following fields. First one is preamble. Next one is SFT. Next one is destination address. Next we have source address. Next we have length bar type. Next is data and padding. Then we have CRC. So this is 7 byte, this is 1 byte, 6 byte, 6 byte, 2 byte and 4 byte. And these two fields, preamble and SFT, are actually part of physical layer header. They are part of physical layer header. And the question is asking which field is actually added in the physical layer and is not a part of the frame. So based on the options, we have option A, preamble, as the right choice. This is a question from computer networks. Ethernet layer 2 switch is a network element type which gives 4 options are given. So a switch is a multi-port bridge with a buffer and a design that can boost its efficiency and performance. Switch can perform error checking before forwarding data. That makes it very efficient, and it does not forward packets that have errors and forward good packets selectively to correct port only. In other words, switch divides collision domain of host but broadcast domain remains same. So based on the options, option A, different collision domain and same broadcast domain is the right choice. This is a question from computer networks. If the frame to be transmitted is 1101.011.011 and the CRC polynomial to be used for generating checksum is x to the power 4 plus x plus 1, then what is the transmitted frame? So the first step is to append number of bits in divisor minus 1 zeros to the data unit. So the divisor is x to the power 4 plus x plus 1, which is equal to 10011. So we append 4 zeros as n is equal to 5. Now the data unit becomes 110101100110000. This is divided with the CRC polynomial, that is 10011. We perform division using XOR subtraction. Once we perform the division using XOR subtraction, we get remainder as this 1110. Now the third step is we perform XOR sum of the remainder with the appended zeros in data unit. We have 11010110110000 XOR 1110. We will get 11010110111110. This is the final answer. Now in the options, option C, it matches, and option C is the right choice. This is a question from computer networks. What will be the efficiency of stop and wait protocol if the transmission time for frame is 20 nanoseconds and the propagation time is 30 nanoseconds? So given TP is equal to 30 nanoseconds and TT is equal to 20 nanoseconds. Now efficiency of a stop and wait protocol is 1 by 1 plus 2A, where A is equal to TP by TT. Now we have 1 by 1 plus 2 into TP is 30, TT is 20. Dividing, we'll get 1 by 10. we'll get 1 by 1 plus 3, which is equal to 1 by 4, which is equal to 0.25, which at turn is equal to 25%. Now, based on the options, option B, 25% is the right answer. This is a question from computer networks. IPv6 does not support which of the following addressing modes? Unicast, multicast, broadcast, anycast. So IPv6 support the following. It supports unicast addressing. It supports multicast addressing, and it supports anycast addressing. It does not support broadcast addressing. So option C is the right choice. In unicast addressing, the IPv6 interface or host is uniquely identified in a network segment. In multicast addressing, the packet destined to multiple hosts is sent on a special multicast address. In anycast addressing, IPv4 has introduced a anycast addressing mode. In this addressing mode, multiple interfaces are assigned same anycast IP address, and it does not support broadcast addressing. Option C is the right choice. This is a question from computer networks. What is the IP class and number of subnetworks if the subnet mask is 255.224.0.0? So the subnet mask, let's write it down. 225.224.0.0. So 225 is written as 1111.1111. 224 is 111.0.0.0.0. And next 0.0 will have 8 zeros. Let's write it like this for the time being. Now, the first 8-bit, it represents the class A network address. So we can say that it is class A. And the next 3-bit of the second octet, it represents the number of subnet. We have 3-bit, so 2 to the power 3, we have 8. So we are having class A and 8 subnet. Option B is the right choice. This is a question from computer networks. Which algorithm is used to shape the bursty traffic into a fixed rate traffic by averaging the data rate? And 4 options are given. So this is about the concept of traffic shaping. It is about regulating average rate of data flow. It is a method of congestion control by providing shape to the data flow before entering the packet into the network. And there are two types of traffic shaping algorithm. One is leaky bucket algorithm, and the other is token bucket algorithm. Now, the options given here points us to option D, leaky bucket algorithm. So, option D is the right choice. This is a question from network security. A packet filtering firewall can deny certain users from accessing a service, block worms and viruses from entering the network, disallow some files from being accessed through FTP, block some hosts from accessing the network. So, there are three types of firewall. Three type of firewall. This is the usual classification. First one is layer 3 or packet filtering firewall. Second one is layer 4 and third one is layer 5 or proxy firewall. So one point to note is that packet filtering firewall, it works up to network layer. Up to network layer. Now let's see the options one by one. Deny certain users from accessing a service. This actually comes under the application layer. So this cannot be done by packet filtering firewall. Block worms and viruses from entering the network. This also comes under application layer because we need to see the data. This also comes under application layer. So this is also not possible by packet filtering firewall. disallow some files from being accessed through FTP. This actually deals with the transport layer, so this is also not possible by the packet filtering firewall. Block some host from accessing the network. Yes, this is possible by the packet filtering firewall because we are dealing with IP addresses at the network layer, which comes under the operation capability of packet filtering firewall. Option D is the right choice. Which of the following encryption algorithm is based on Feastel structure? So, Feastel cipher is a symmetric cipher used in the construction of block cipher. Now, RSA is an asymmetric cryptography technique, crypto mechanism we can say. Whereas Feastel uses symmetric cipher. Then DES, it uses symmetric and is based on Feastel structure. RC4 is a stream cipher. Which makes it symmetric but not based on Feastel structure. So based on the options, option C is the right answer. That is DES, Data Encryption Standard, is the right choice. This is a question from computer networks. The protocol data unit for the transport layer in the internet stack is, and 4 options are given. So let's write the answer. For the physical layer, the protocol data unit is stream. For data link layer, it is frame. For network layer, it is packet. For transport layer, it is segment. And for application layer, it is message. We are asked to find out the protocol data unit for transport layer. So segment is the right answer and option A, segment, is the right choice. This is a question from numerical methods. The Gauss-Seidel iterative method can be used to solve which of the following set? So the Gauss-Seidel method, it is an iterative method used to solve a linear system of equations. So it is used to solve linear system of equation. It allows the user to control round of error. It can control round of error. So based on the options, option A, linear algebraic equation is the right choice. This is a question from calculus. What is the least value of the function f of x is equal to 2x square minus 8x minus 3 in the interval 0, 5? So first of all, let's differentiate f of x with respect to x. We will get f of x is equal to 2x square minus 8x minus 3 and f dash of x is equal to 4x minus 8. Now for immovable point f of x is equal to 0. Sorry, f dash of x is equal to 0, which means 4x minus 8 is equal to 0, which means that x is equal to 2. Therefore, critical points are 0, that is from here, 0, 2, that is from here, and 5, that is from here. These are the values of critical point. Now, Finding the second order differential, we will get f double dash of x is equal to f double dash of 2x square minus 8x minus 3. We will get 4. This is greater than 0, so it is minima. Now, to get the minimum or least value, we should check all the values of critical points, that is immovable point and closed interval point. Now, for x is equal to 0, f of x is what? F of x is equal to minus 3. Now, for x is equal to 2, f of x is equal to 8 minus 16 minus 3, which is equal to minus 11. For x equal to 5, we get f of x is equal to 50 minus 40 minus 3, which is equal to 7. So at x equal to 2, we get minimum value for f of x. So x is equal to 2 and the value is minus 11 actually, minus 11. So the correct answer is option C, minus 11. This is a question from operating system. Consider the following set of processes with arrival times and required CPU burst times given in milliseconds. So we have three processes P1, P2 and P3. Arrival time is given as this and the burst time is given as this. What is the sequence in which the processes are completed? Assume round robin scheduling with a time quantum of 2 milliseconds. So let's try to draw the Gantt chart and understand what is the order of completing the process. So at time 0, we have process P1. It executes for 2 milliseconds. Now P1 has total burst time of 4. Now it becomes 2. P2 has initially 2 and P3 has 1. So initially this is also 4, but after executing it becomes 2. Now at time period 2, P2 has arrived. So the ready queue will be like this. Initially P1 would come, then P2 would come. Then once this execution is completed, again P1 will come at the time 2. Now P2 is executed. P2 is executed for 2 units. So it becomes 4. Now P2 is executed first. Now again what happens is at time 4, arrival time of P3 is 3. Now P3 will be arriving. Now since P2 is executed, now we put P1 into the ready queue. Now P1 comes. It is executed for 2 units, so it becomes 6. Now P1 is also executed. Then P3 is executed for 1 unit, that is 7. So the order of completion is P2, P1, P3. Based on the options, option B, P2, P1, P3 is the right choice. This is a question from IO device. In case of a DVD, the speed of data transfer is mentioned in multiples of and 4 options are given. So in case of DVD, the speed of data transfer in DVD is typically 1385000 bytes per second. This is equal to almost 1.38 MB per second. So based on the options, option B is the right choice. This is a question from operating system. Suppose we have a variable logical record of length 5 byte, 10 byte and 25 byte, while the physical block size in disk is 15 byte. What is the maximum and minimum fragmentation seen in bytes? So it is given that the physical disk block size is 15 byte. So for minimum fragmentation, there are two cases. Either the variable logical record can be of 10 bytes, that is 10 bytes, then we are left with 5 bytes. This is one of the case for minimum fragmentation. Another case is suppose we have a 25 byte logical record. To store it, we require two continuous 15-byte blocks. First block and this is the second block. This both will together be 30 and the variable length record will be 25 bytes. So we have remaining 5 bytes. So the minimum fragmentation is 5 bytes. Now let's see for the maximum case. For maximum case, what happens is the physical block is of 15 bytes. Then if the variable logical record is of size 5 byte, then remaining 10 bytes are not used. So this causes the maximum fragmentation size. So we have as maximum 10 bytes and as minimum 5 bytes. So option D is the right choice. This is a question from operating system. A CPU scheduling algorithm determines an order for execution of its scheduled processes. Given n processes are to be scheduled on one processor, how many different schedules are possible? So assume it is non-preemptive. This is the first assumption. So if n process is there, we can have n factorial ways to schedule it, because assume 3 process. So first process has 3 choice, either can be scheduled in first, second or third. Second process will have 2 choice, and the first process or sorry the third process has 1 choice. So the total number of choices are 3 into 2 into 1, which is equal to 3 factorial. This is for non-preemptive. If it is preemptive, then we can have infinite amount of choices. So assuming that it is non-preemptive, option C, n factorial is the right answer. This is a question from operating system. Which of the following is or are likely the causes of trashing? Page size is small. There are too many programs running in the system. Least recently used policy is used for page replacement. First in first out policy is used for page replacement. So let's see each options one by one. Page size is very small. Yes. What is trashing first of all? Trashing is the situation when the number of page fault is increasing. So as a result, the pages has to be bought from disk back to the main memory. This can cause a delay in the execution. So if the page size is very small, then the number of page fault can increase, and this is likely a cause of trashing. So A can be a possible answer. Option B, there are too many programs running in the system. True. If there are too many programs running in the system, then the number of page fault can increase. So this is also a likely possibility. Least recently used policies used for page replacement. No, this cannot be a cause for trashing. First in first out policy is used for page replacement. Yes, FIFO algorithm suffers from Belady's anomaly and it can cause trashing. So options A, B and D are all likely to be correct, but keeping in mind we have to select the most appropriate option. So option A can be the most appropriate option and it is the right answer here. This is a question from operating system. Consider a logical address space of 8 pages of 1024 words each, mapped onto a physical memory of 32 frames. How many bits are there in the physical address and logical address respectively? Let's consider the logical address first. The logical address can be split into two parts. That is page ID and offset within the page. So we have 8 page. So using 3 bit we can identify that particular page. So it requires 3 bit and we have 1024 words in each page. Using 10 bit we can identify that particular word. So in total we have 13 bit. Now based on the options we can say that this is the right option, that is option C. But now let's find out the physical address also. So the physical address is also split into two parts, that is the frame ID and the offset. Now since the page size is same as frame size, we have 10 bits to access the offset, and for 32 frames we can have 5 bits. So in total 15 bits for physical address. So option C is the right answer here. This is a question from operating system. In a 64-bit machine with 2 GB RAM and 8 KB page size, how many entries will be there in the page table if it is inverted? So given that the page table is inverted. So generally the OS maintains a separate page table for each process. So separate page table for each process is maintained in general. The issue is that page table consume more memory. So we introduce inverted page table. In inverted page table, the paging information of all the processes is stored in a single page table. A simple inverted page table stores one page entry per physical page, and so there is less memory overhead. So for inverted page table, one entry per frame in the table. So we have less number of entries, and this is for the whole system and not for a single process. So let's try to find out how many entries will be there. So it is given that memory equal to 2 gigabytes, which is equal to 2 to the power 31. Now page size is equal to 8 kilobyte, which is equal to 2 to the power 13. So number of frames will be equal to the number of entries in inverted page table. That is equal to 2 to the power 31 divided by 2 to the power 13, which is equal to 2 to the power 18. So based on the options, option A, 2 to the power 18 is the right answer. We can have 2 to the power 18 entries in the page table if it is inverted. This is a question from operating system. Which of the following is not a necessary condition for deadlock? This is actually theory based question. Now, first of all, what is deadlock? Deadlock is a situation where a set of processes are blocked because each process is holding a resource and waiting for some other resource which is held by some other process. So deadlock situation occurs when the processors are waiting for an event that will never happen. And the following conditions are the necessary condition for deadlock. We should have mutual exclusion, hold and wait, no preemption of resource, no preemption, as well as circular wait. These are the four necessary conditions for deadlock. So based on the options, option B is not necessary condition, that is reentrancy, and it is not the necessary condition for deadlock, and option B is the right answer. This is a question from operating system. Consider the following process and resource requirement of each process. We have two types of resource. One is type 1 and other is type 2, and three process P1, P2 and P3, and their used and maximum requirement for each type of resource is mentioned. Predict the state of the system assuming that there are total 5 instances of resource of type 1 and 4 instances of resource of type 2. So first of all, let's draw the need matrix. So need matrix can be drawn by adding one more column need in both the resources. So as of now for process P1, it needs maximum 2 resource and it has used 1 resource. So max minus used is the need. So based on that, we can write here 1, it will be 2, it will be 2 here. Here it will be 2, here it will be 1, here it will be 3. Now let's try to see how many instances of resources are available for each of the process. So we have used how many? 1 plus 1 plus 2, total 4 instance of type 1 is used. What we have available is 1 for type 1. This is available. Similarly, here we have used 3 instances of type 2. We have 4 instances of type 2. So we have 1 of type 2 also available. Now see the requirements. P1 needs 1 and 2 instance. Using this we cannot proceed. P2 needs 2 and 1 instance. Using our available resource we cannot proceed. P3 needs 2 and 3 instance. Using the available resource we cannot proceed. So none of the process requests can be fulfilled due to this. As a result, it is in unsafe state. So option C, unsafe state is the right answer. This is a question from operating system. A starvation-free job scheduling policy guarantees that no job indefinitely waits for a service. Which of the following job scheduling policy is starvation-free? So the options given are priority queuing, shortest job first, youngest job first, and round robin. So option D, round robin is the right answer because in round robin, each and every process is given an equal amount of CPU time to execute. It is based on a time quantum. Whereas in other three scheduling, there is always a policy which is favoring one particular process. Say for example, in priority queuing, the process with highest priority will always get executed. Highest priority process always get executed. In shortest job first, the process with shortest execution time, shortest execution time is favored. Similarly, for youngest job first also, this is not a starvation free. So option D, round robin scheduling is the one which guarantees that no process is indefinitely waiting for the CPU service. Option D, round robin is the right choice. This is a question from operating system. The state of a process after it encounters an IO instruction is, and 4 options are given. So using the process state diagram, let's try to find out the answer. So whenever a process is just created, it is kept in the ready queue, that is in this queue. Now when it starts execution, it is in the running state. Once in running state, as it starts to perform an IO operation, it moves into the wait or blocked state. So this is our answer. That is, whenever the process requests for an IO operation, it is moved into the wait or blocked state. Now let's see the options. We have blocked, option B. It is the right answer. This is a question from database. Embedded pointer provides a secondary access path, a physical record key, an inverted index, a prime key. So embedded pointers means a set of pointers in a dataset which points to another dataset. Hence, it provides a secondary access path. So based on the options, option A is the right choice. This is a question from operating system. A particular parallel program computation requires 100 seconds when it is executed on a single CPU. So if 20% of this computation is strictly sequential, then theoretically the best possible time elapsed for the program running on 2 CPU and 4 CPU are what? So total execution on single CPU, it is 100 seconds. Now 20% is sequential. So we have 20% of 100, which is equal to 20 seconds, that is always sequential. Now rest of the program, that is 80%, is run on 2 CPU as well as 4 CPU. So 80% of 100 second is 80 seconds. Now in 2 CPU, this can be divided into 2 parts, that is 80 by 2. We can run it in 40 seconds. and within 4 CPUs, it can be 80 by 4. So it can be 20 seconds. So the question is asking what is the best possible elapsed time. So we can have 40 plus this 20 is sequential. This cannot be avoided, which is equal to 40 plus 20 equal to 60 seconds on 2 CPU and 20 plus 20 plus 20 that is equal to 40 seconds on 4 CPU. So based on the options, option D 60 and 40 seconds is the right answer. This is a question from C programming. We are given a program and we are having the value of double pi a equal to 1 and we are given a for loop and we are giving this assignment a equal to cos pi I by 2, then we print 1 else we print 0. We are asked to find out the output of the program. So in the initial iteration I equal to 0, then we move here, that is cos pi into I by 2. I by 2 means 0 by 2. So we get cos 0. Cos 0 is equal to 1. So if the condition is if a equal to 1 will be the criteria. So if 1, then it is entering this print statement. So we print 1. Now for I equal to 1, we get cos pi into 1 by 2. That is cos pi by 2. So what is happening here is cos pi by 2 is equal to 0. So if 0 will get executed and we print the else condition, that is printing 0. Now if I equal to 2, we get cos pi into 2 by 2, that is cos pi equal to minus 1. So the criteria for entering the if condition is if this has to be true, then any other value other than 0 will make it true, and if this value is 0, then it will move to false part. So this is minus 1. So this is entering the true condition, that is we are printing 1. So the answer is 1 0 1 based on the options. Option C is the right choice. This is a question from C programming. This is a question from Java programming. We are given x equal to 0, y equal to 0, a for loop is given, then one if condition is also given. Based on the if condition, we'll execute this particular statement. Now, the important point to remember here is we have to use the short circuit technique in such cases. Short circuit technique. It means that in this if condition, if it is like this, if exp1 means this expression, or exp2. This means that if this expression turns out to be true, then we will not evaluate this expression. If it only turns out to be false, then only we will evaluate this expression. This is because we are using the OR condition. So this is the short circuit technique for OR. Now based on this concept, let's try to solve it. Initially z equal to 0. We are entering the loop. Now we are doing plus plus x. So x will become 1 here. Now x is 1 greater than 2, false. So then we execute the second expression also. Here also we are incrementing the value of y by 1. Now both the conditions are failing. Then we do not enter this criteria. Now we move on to the next iteration. Z equal to 1. We get x equal to 2. So 2 greater than 2, it is false. So we make y 2 based on this criteria. Now we do not enter this because this both values turns out to be false. Now z equal to 2. In this case, we are incrementing the value of x. It becomes 3. Since 3 is greater than 2, the short circuit technique applies. As a result, the value of y doesn't get incremented. Y will become 2. Then we enter this criteria, that is x plus plus. Here we get x equal to 4. Now z equal to 3. Here we have x equal to 4. Then we make x equal to 5. 5 greater than 2. So we are not executing y equal to 2 only because we are not executing plus plus y. Now the value of x will become 6. Then on z equal to 4, we get x equal to 7, y equal to 2, x equal to 8. That is when we execute this particular statement. Now z equal to 5. the loop fails. So ultimately the final values of x and y are this. That is x will be equal to 8, y is equal to 2. So based on the options, option A, 8, 2 is the right choice. This is a question from operating system. Consider the list of page references in the timeline as below, and this is the page set of reference. What is the working set as the penultimate page reference if delta equal to 5? Here, the working set window delta is given as 5. Delta is 5. The working set window is a moving window. At each memory reference, a new reference appears at the end and the oldest reference drops off the other end. So initially, since delta equal to 5, you can say that this is the working set. First 5 references 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the next set of reference, this 9 gets dropped and this 4 gets added. In the next set of reference, this 6 gets dropped and the next 4 gets added. This is how the working set window works. This is for first reference, this is second reference, this is the third reference. Now, a page is in the working set if it is referenced anywhere in the working set window. That is one important property. Now, the question is asked to find out what is the working set at the penultimate page reference if delta equal to 5. This means that we have to take the second last reference. So take 5 page reference from the end of the given list of the references except the last reference. So the last reference would be this last 5 values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are taking this as the last reference and the penultimate page reference would be the second last, that is this reference. This is the penultimate. We are having 3, 3, 9, 6, 2. So this is the working set reference. Now, one important point to note here is that the question is asked regarding the working set. Working set is the set of unique pages that are referred. Here the unique pages that are referred are 3, 9, 6 and 2. So based on the question, option D, 3962 is the right choice. And working set window means it refers to the set of the delta references. If it was asking for the working set window, then 39627 would have been the answer. But since it is asking for the working set, it means the set of unique references that are made. So option D is the right choice. This is a question from operating system. This is a question from software engineering. What is the cyclomatic complexity of a module which has 17 edges and 13 nodes? So the formula to calculate cyclomatic complexity is as follows. Cyclomatic complexity is equal to number of edges minus number of nodes plus 2. This is the basic formula. So plugging this, we will get E as 17, N as 13. So that is 17 minus 13 plus 2. We'll get 6. So the cyclomatic complexity is 6 and answer is option C. This is a question from software engineering. Which of the following type of coupling has the weakest coupling? So in software engineering, coupling is defined as the degree of interdependence between software modules. So coupling means degree of interdependence between software modules. It is a measure of how closely connected two routines or modules are. It also represents the strength of relationship between modules. So a low coupling is often thought to be a sign of well-structured computer system and a good design. So this is the basic concept about coupling. Now let's see the different types of coupling based on the order from the highest, that is least desirable, to the least, that is most desirable. So we have content coupling. This is the least desired. Second one is common coupling. Third one is control coupling. Fourth one we have stamp coupling. And at last we have data coupling. So this is the order, that is, this is the highest and this is the lowest or weakest. Now based on the options, option C, data coupling is the weakest coupling and it is the most desirable coupling in software engineering, as a low degree of coupling is good for the software. Option C is the right choice. This is a question from microprocessor. How many number of times the instruction sequence below will loop before coming out of the loop? And we are given this particular loop. So AL is 8-bit. That is the first point. Now what happens is AL is assigned a value of 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Then AL is incremented by 1, AL plus 1. Here jump not 0 to A1. That is AL not equal to 0, then jump to A1. So in the first iteration, what happens is AL is set to 0. Then the next step, we will increment the value of AL and then we'll jump not to A1 if it is 0 and we'll jump to A1 if AL is not equal to 0. Now this continues till the 255th iteration. Then what happens is the value of 255th iteration will be 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. Now in the 256th iteration, the value will become 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0. Since AL is 8-bit, this one gets discarded and again it will be reset to 0. So in total 256 iterations happen before coming out of the loop. As a result, option C 256 is the right choice. This is a question from digital logic design. The most simplified form of the Boolean function for this 4 variable is what? And that is the question. And it is expressed in sum of minterms. So let's draw a 4 variable k-map to solve this. One, two. This is the 4 variable k-map. We have a bar, b bar, a bar, b, a b, a b bar. And here we have here c bar, d bar, c bar, d, c d, and c d bar. And the values will be 0, 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now let's fill these cells with 1 as it is expressed in the sum of minterms. We have 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now let's try to solve it. This would be the largest possible group and this would be the other possible grouping. So the value of this grouping is, since it is filling all these 4 cells of C bar, D bar, C bar, D, CD and CD bar, this gets cancelled and here we have A into A and B into B bar. So this turns out to be A. Now for this we have CD and what happens here is A bar into A, it becomes cancelled out, B into B, it becomes B. So BCD. Since it is expressed as a sum of minterms, we have A plus B, C, D. This is the final answer. And based on the options, option C is the right choice. This is a question from computer networks. How many check bits are required for 16-bit data word to detect 2-bit error and single-bit correction using Hamming code? This is a memory-based question. This has a direct formula. So if you remember the formula, we can directly solve it. So with Hamming code, to detect error, that is error detection, for n bit, we require n plus 1 bits. N plus 1 bits. And to error correction for n bit, we require 2n plus 1 bits. So first let's see for the error detection. We have to do 2-bit error detection. So we require 3 bits. Then we have 1-bit error correction. We require 2n plus 1. So 2 into 1 plus 1, that is also 3 bits. So check bits is the sum of these two. We have 3 plus 3, which is equal to 6 check bits. Based on the option B is the right choice. This is a question from digital logic. Two 8-bit bytes 11000011 and 01001100 are added. What are the values of the overflow, carry, and zero flags respectively if the arithmetic unit of the CPU uses 2's complement form? So let's write the two numbers. We have 11000011 and we have 11000011 plus 01001100. So let's try to add it. We'll get here 1 with no carry. Here also 1, 1, 1. Here it will be 0, 0. We'll get 0 and a carry is generated here. And we'll get 0 here and a carry is generated here. So this is the 8-bit result and this is the carry out. And this would be the carry in. Now let's try to find out the values of each flag. So carry flag is equal to 1 as a carry is generated. Now zero flag. The zero flag will be set if the result is 0. But here the result is not 0. So the zero flag is also 0. Zero flag is also 0. So overflow flag has not been found yet. The carry flag is 1 and zero flag is 0. Now let's try to eliminate the options. This can be eliminated. This can also be eliminated. Now B or D is the possible solutions. To find out if overflow has occurred, the condition is carry out XOR carry in. So we have 1 XOR 1 which is equal to 0. So the last bit to include is the overflow flag. So it is 0. So 0, 1, 0. Option D is the right choice. This is a question from computer organization. How much speed do we gain by using the cache when cache is used 80% of the time? Assume cache is faster than main memory. So just by making the assumption that cache is faster than main memory, we cannot solve it. We have to assume how much times faster the cache is than the main memory. But based on the information given, we can say that the speed up will be less than 5. So in general, speed of cache is approximately 100 times faster than main memory. This is the assumption. So we can assume that if cache is having an access time of 1 nanoseconds, memory will have 100 nanoseconds as access time. So if P memory access are there in total, then the speed up is calculated as speed up is equal to memory access time without cache, that is memory access without cache divided by memory access with cache. This is the formula for calculation. Now let's try to find out the answer. So time required without cache, that is, we have P main memory access and 0 cache access. So we have 100 P nanoseconds. Now time with cache. As the cache is accessed 80% of time, we can say 0.8 times with cache plus zero point 0.2 time without cache. So we can say that this is equal to 0.8 times P into 1 plus 0.2 times P into 100. This is equal to 208 by 10, which is equal to 20.8 P nanoseconds. This is the other formula. Now speed gain is time without cache by time with cache. This is equal to 100 P divided by 20.8 P. Cutting P and P, we will get 4.8. Thus speed will be almost around 4.8, but it will be less than 5. So we can say that the closest one is 4.16. So based on the options, option C is the right answer. This is a question from computer organization. A pipeline P operating at 400 MHz has a speed up factor of 6 and operating at 70% efficiency. How many stages are there in the pipeline? This is a direct question with a direct formula. So the formula is efficiency of k stage pipeline is equal to speed up factor divided by number of stages, that is k. Here efficiency is given as 0.7. This is equal to speed up factor is 6 divided by number of stages as k. This is equal to 0.7 k equal to 6. We'll get k equal to 6 by 0.7, which is approximately equal to 9. So number of stages is 9. Option D is the right choice. This is a question from computer organization. A processor is fetching instructions at the rate of 1 million instructions per second. A DMA module is used to transfer characters to a RAM from a device transmitting at 9600 bits per second. How much time will the processor be slowed down due to DMA activity? So DMA usually works in cycle stealing mode, where it transfer 1 byte per cycle. This is an assumption. This is the first assumption we have to make to simplify this. So given DMA bandwidth as 9600 bits per second, we divide it by 8 to get the number of bytes per second, that is 1200 bytes per second. Now 1 MIPS is equal to 1 million instruction per second. So CPU normally fetches 10 to the power of 6 instruction per second. So we assume that one instruction is equal to 1 byte. So we can say that this DMA will steal out 1200 upon 10 to the power of 6, because since the DMA is having a cycle stealing mode, it steals out 1 byte per second. So the device is transmitting 9600 bits per second. So we have 1200 bytes per second. So 1200 by 10 to the power of 6, we will get 1.2 into 10 to the power of minus 3. This is equal to 1.2 milliseconds. This is the time that processor will be slowed down by the DMA activity. We have option D as the right choice. This is a question from image processing. If the frame buffer has 8 bit per pixel and 8 bits are allocated for each of the RGB component, what would be the size of the lookup table? So it is given that number of indexes in frame buffer is equal to 2 to the power 8, which is 256. This is based on this 8 bits per pixel. Now size of each entry is equal to 8 bit for red plus 8 bit for green plus 8 bit for blue. So in total we have 3 bytes. So size of lookup table is equal to 256 into 3, which is equal to 768 bytes. Based on the options, option C is the right choice. This is a question from data structures. In an array of 2n elements, that is both 2-ordered and 3-ordered, what is the maximum number of positions that an element can be from its position if the array were 1-ordered? This is fairly simple. An array can be termed as 2-ordered if it contains an element which is at most 2 positions away from its original position in a sorted array. This is the basic of 2-ordered array. So if it is a k-ordered array, we can say that an array can be termed as k-ordered array if it contains an element which is at most k positions away from its original position in a sorted array. Now the question is asked for 1-ordered array. So the maximum number of positions that an element can be from its position if the array were 1-ordered is 1. So based on the options, option A is the right answer. This is a question from compiler design. Which of the following productions eliminate left recursion in the productions given below? And 4 options are given, and this is the grammar. So to remove left recursion from a grammar of the form A derives A alpha or beta, we rewrite the production rules as A gives beta A dash and A dash gives alpha A dash or epsilon. This is the basic rule. Now based on this rule, let's try to solve it. First of all, let's write the grammar. We have S derives AA or P, A derives AC or SD or epsilon. So we are finding the indirect left recursion here because S can derive A, again A can derive S. So there is an indirect left recursion. Resolving this, we will get S derives AA or B and A can derive AC, or instead of S, we are substituting AA or D or BD or epsilon. Now this grammar does not have a left recursion, whereas this grammar or this production has a left recursion and this production does not have a left recursion. No left recursion. This has left recursion. Now based on this formula, that is this formula, we can take alpha as C here. We can also take AD as alpha. We can also take beta as BD. Now based on this solving, we will get S derives AA or P, then A derives A dash or BD A dash, and A dash gives C A dash or AD A dash or epsilon. So this is the grammar after removing the left recursion. Now let's see the options. Based on the options, we can say that option B is the right choice. S derives AA or B, A derives A dash or BD A dash derives C A dash or AD A dash or epsilon. So based on the options, option B is the right choice. This is a question from programming. Consider the following pseudocode. We have x and y as global variables and they are assigned the values 1 and 2. Then there is a procedure add which assigns x equal to x plus y. Then there is a procedure second having a procedure as an argument to it. X is assigned as 2, then we call p. And there is a procedure first where y is assigned value 3. Then we add second and pass the add procedure. Then first is called, then write integer of x. So this is the first function that gets called. Now, what does it print if the language uses dynamic scoping with deep binding? So the major point is deep binding binds the environment at the time the procedure is passed as an argument. This is the important point. Deep binding binds the environment at the time procedure is passed. Now based on this concept and dynamic scoping, let's try to solve it. So first the execution starts at first. So we have global variables declared, that is x equal to 1, y equal to 2. Then first is getting called. When first is getting called, y is assigned 3. Then this will cause the global variable y to hide. Now second is called and function add is passed as an argument. Here we call second and the function add is passed as an argument. Due to deep binding, the scope of the variable in add gets assigned here. So what is the scope of variable second in procedure P? In this case, y is binded to 3 here. That is the important point. Now in second what happens is second gets called. Here x is assigned 2. Then we call the procedure P. Upon calling the procedure P, again what happens is that this procedure P is actually the add procedure. So add gets called. Inside the add, we are adding x plus y. Now, due to the deep binding process, y is assigned the value 3 and we are taking the value of x from the global variable. So here what happens is 1 plus 3 gets added up and assigned to value x. So x is becoming 4. So based on the options, option C 4 is the right choice. This is a question from data structures. The number of rotations required to insert a sequence of elements 9, 6, 5, 8, 7, 10 into an empty AVL tree is. So first of all, AVL tree is a height balanced binary search tree. The balancing factor in AVL tree should be either -1, 0 or +1 and the balancing factor is calculated as height of left subtree minus height of right subtree. So the balancing factor for a particular node is this. So if the balancing factor is not among these three values, then the balancing factor is violated. Then we have to perform either the following rotations: LL, that is left left, LR, RL and RR. We have to perform any one of these rotation to again balance it. Now based on this information, let's try to draw it. So first is 9. Now the balancing factor of this is 0 because there is no left or right subtree. Now we insert 6. Now the balancing factor of this node becomes 1, that is this height, minus 0, that is this height. So we have left subtree as height 1 and right subtree as height 0. So the balancing factor is plus 1. We write it as 1. This has balancing factor 0 because it has no left or right nodes. Now we insert 5. Upon inserting 5, the balance factor all gets changed. Now it becomes this. It will be 2 for this. This will be plus 1 and this will be 0. Now the balance factor got changed. This got changed because of inserting left left. We have to perform this rotation because it is inserted in the left node of the left. Now upon performing LL rotation, we lift 6 up. We move 5 to the left and 9 to the right. Now this has a balance factor of 0. This also has a balance factor 0. This also has a balance factor 0. Now we are inserting 8. When we are inserting 8, we insert it here. Now the balance factor changes for this node, that is 1 minus 2. That is 1 will be here and 2 will be this. So this has minus 1 as the balance factor. This will have 1 as the balance factor and this has balance factor 0. Now we are inserting 7. Upon inserting 7, what happens is 7 gets inserted here. Now this is also violating the balance condition because this is 1 minus 3. So the balancing factor becomes minus 2. Here the balancing factor becomes 2 because 2 minus this has no left right subtree. So the balancing factor of this node gets disturbed due to insertion of LL. So again we perform the rotation. That is, we lift this node 8 up. So 8 will be lifted up. Then we have 7. We have 9 here. Then 6 will be here. And we have 5 here. Now the balancing factor of 6 is 1 minus 2. That is minus 1. This has 0. This also has 0. This also has 0. This also has 0. Now we are inserting 10 into this. Upon inserting 10, what happens is the balance factor becomes 1 minus 3. That is minus 2. The balance factor here becomes 1 minus 2. That is minus 1. The balance factor here it becomes 0 minus 1. So that is minus 1. Here it is 0. So now what happens here is we have RR imbalance here. So we rotate it again and we get the 3 as this. We have 8 here. We have 6 here. We have 5 here. We have 7 here. We have 9 and 10 here. So in total, we have made 3 rotations, LL, LL followed by RR. So 3 rotations we have made. So the number of rotations required to insert this sequence is option D, 3. This is a question from data structures. Let A be an array with the following dimensions, that is 1 to 8 is the first index, minus 5 to 5 is the second index, minus 10 to 5 is the third index. How many elements are there in the array A? So number of elements in the first dimension is equal to upper limit minus lower limit plus 1. This applies for all the 3 dimensions. So for the first dimension, we have 1 to 8. That is 8 minus 1 plus 1, which is equal to 8. Second dimension, we have minus 5 to 5. This is equal to 5 minus 5 plus 1, which is equal to 11. And for the third dimension, we have minus 10 to 5. That is 5 minus 10 plus 1, which is equal to 16. So total number of elements is equal to 8 into 11 into 16, which is equal to 1408. So the total number of elements is option B, 1408. This is a question from linear algebra. What is the matrix transformation which takes the independent vectors 1, 2 and 2, 5 and transform them to 1, 1 and 3, 2 respectively? So we know that if Ax equal to lambda x, then lambda is said to be the eigenvector. Now, the easiest way to solve this is to match with the options given. So let's see option A. With option A, we have 1 minus 1, 1, 0 into, let's try an example, 1, 2. This will be equal to 1 minus 2, 1 plus 0, which is in turn equal to minus 1, 1. We can take 1 as the common factor, then we get minus 1 comma 1. This is not anywhere matching. So this cannot be the right answer. Now let's take option B. We have option B here. Let's write 0, 0 0.5, 0, 0 0.5 into 1, 2. For this we will get 0 plus 0 and 0 0.5 plus 1. This is equal to 0 comma 1.5. This is of the form lambda x. We cannot take 1, 1 or 3, 2 in this also. So option B is also eliminated. Now let's go for option C. Option B is now eliminated. Now we are going for option C. For option C we have minus 1, 1, 0, minus 1 into 1, 2. When multiplying we will get minus 1, 3. This is also not of the form lambda x where we will get 1, 1 or 3, 2. So option C is also eliminated. Now let's see option D. We have minus 1, 1, 1, 0 and 1, 2. For this we will get 1, 1. Yes, this is the first transformation. Now the second transform vector we can get minus 1, 1, 1, 0 and this we can take 2, 5. This we will get minus 2 plus 5, 2 plus 0. This is equal to 3, 2. So using this matrix transformation, that is option D, we can transform the independent vectors 1, 2 and 2, 5 into 1, 1 and 3, 2. So option D is the right choice.